just about 7:01 a.m., and you are now invited to listen to the Morning Watch with Stokeley Marshall.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-3326-541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also check us out on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live in the main watch today. Youth chats. Concerns about this chatbot. In the second watch, ride with me or not? In our social media question, we ask, what has your experience been like with any ride-sharing transport service? Share your responses in our Facebook or YouTube Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your conversation on the program, but first, as I quote.
All right, good morning. Today's I quote says, "You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate." And this is from Rick Warren.
Sounds like a interesting I quote because it is saying, do not lower your values. Do not lower your standards.
Basically.
Do not compromise your values. Do not compromise your godly, holy values. The main watch will be back after this break.
You're invited to listen to Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. We'll give you tips on how to make your money count, how to save, and how to grow your wealth. It's all inside Dollars and Cents, brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. That's Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Back it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this a we island. So keep Jamaica. Say make we clean, keep Jamaica clean. Make you listen to me please. No plastic, magna fia blowing at the breeze. Proper garbage, disposal, recycle plastic. Now make it full up in the streets. Back it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this a we island. So keep Jamaica. Say make we clean. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. Bashco. For everything where you need. Bashco. Quality service guaranteed on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. Gives you more. Yeah. Bashco. Furniture for your house. Everything for your kitchen. Rocks, cups, and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm Stokeley Marshall. The National Family Planning Board, the Ministry of Health, UNICEF, UNAIDS, and the JFLAG are planting destructive ideas about reproductive health, sexuality, and gender into the minds of the youth. And I just read a quotation. Well, that's what's being alleged by the Love March movement in a video explaining what an app called Youth Chats, promoted by those entities, is doing. We have as our guests for this segment Sarah Webster, executive member, Love March Movement, and Roland Gale, parent and host of Family Time on Love 101 FM. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you both?
Good morning. Great to be here.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to your listeners. Good morning to you, Sir Stokeley.
Good morning. Now, Sarah Webster, let's start with you. there is a video, I believe, that was put out by the Love March movement. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And it's about this particular youth chat app.
Right.
Tell us about the video that you put out and why you put it out.
All right. Thanks again for having us. The Youth Chats app is a chat bot, and so you access it through WhatsApp, and it's made to mimic human interaction. So it's not something you download in the Play Store. You can also access it via SMS. But the Love March movement got screenshots and reports from parents saying this is not just giving our children information, it's actually changing their ideology, it's changing their worldview, and it's giving destructive ideas about sexuality, gender, abortion, and even abstinence, which we would think is great, of course, but the way that it is framed leaves much room for questioning. And so we thought this needed to be addressed in our nation, especially as it's being presented as correct and reliable and trustworthy information.
You said a lot, but you haven't been that specific. Can you specifically indicate what are the issues that you have with the chatbot that deeply concern you and the parents who have seen it?
Sure, no problem. So there are a number of sections that you can select. And so in the gender and sexuality part of it, they have preset questions that you can select. So for example, what is transgenderism? How do I choose my sexuality? And as I mentioned in the video, how do I choose my sexual identity? If you select that question, it's not going to tell you to look on your birth certificate or look at your body parts. It's going to say, think about it carefully. So that is planting the idea in our children's mind that based on what they think about, if they feel like they want to be a boy, then that's completely fine. And what is especially harmful is that if children are confused about their gender identity and want to go beyond the app, they want to speak to someone, they want to speak to an actual person, they will be able to reach out to Jamaica Forum for Lesbian, Allsexuals, and Gays to get that type of information, which we think is absolutely uncalled for and dangerous, that somebody who is confused about their sexuality would reach out to this organization advocating for transgenderism, for lesbianism, and those type of lifestyles.
When you said if someone thinks that they're a boy, you mean if a girl thinks that she's a
Right.
boy,
Right.
or vice versa?
Or vice versa. That's correct. Or they suggest that you can be both.
Now, when you say the National Family Planning Board, the Ministry of Health, UNICEF, UNAIDS, and JFLAG are planting destructive ideas, tell us about the genesis of this Youth Chats app.
All right. So
If you can.
Sure, no problem. So the National Family Planning Board is a division of the Ministry of Health. And if you look on the flyer that they have for Youth Chats, you will see Ministry of Health, UNICEF, UNAIDS, and Youth Expressions, which is from the National Family Planning Board. And so this was in a response to saying that our youth do not have proper access to information. They're getting their information from TikTok and their friends, and they don't know about sex. They don't know about reproductive health. And so I think it is in itself a noble act to try and provide this information in a way that is accessible to youth and in a way that they'll be readily accepting of it. So they use characters, they make it fun, they talk in patois. And so it doesn't feel like you're accessing a website and a formal report on what is happening. However, with this idea and this intention that is seemingly good, we have the ideas that are at the same time harmful to the same youth they're trying to provide information and help for.
And what age, in terms of youth, does the app appear to be targeting?
Well, it explicitly says it. National Family Planning Board says the primary users are age 13 to 24. And parents can also go and access information to help their children.
Roland Gale, you're a parent. How does all this sit with you?
Good morning again. It doesn't sit well with me particularly. I thank Sarah for giving that kind of background, and I just want to make a comment on my own behalf in saying that I would prefer if the National Family Planning Board and those guys would recognize the the presence of parents in the lives of youngsters and refer youngsters back to their parents. So, for example, when we say that a child is getting information from TikTok or Instagram or the internet, and therefore we now have to create a interactive, human-like platform for the child to come and speak to us, I would really prefer if they would refer the children back to their parents, because the parents are the ones who are responsible for the kids. The parents are tasked with the responsibility to give them the information that they need to navigate life properly. And it is important that we keep the parents in the loop from the foundation. And so for us to say, oh, they're getting stuff from TikTok or YouTube or whatever social media platform, let's not do that. Let's give them something else. I would prefer at the outset if they would simply refer them back to their parents. And at that point now, what we do is we enable parents to respond in the ways that are healthy and ensure that we build family life to a level where children no longer just wander off and think that the internet is the source of all good things. Parents are critical in the lives of their children, and that is what I think the National Family Planning Board should try to do. The Ministry of Health should be trying to get children to go back to listen to their parents and empower parents to give the children the right kind of information.
Sarah Webster, we have heard a parent speak, and how accessible is this app, generally speaking? And to your knowledge, how widely is it being distributed or shared?
Okay, so it's accessible, as I said, through WhatsApp, and it's also accessible via SMS, normal messaging on your phone, and they have partnered with telecommunication companies so that it's free to access via SMS. So even if you're at home with no Wi-Fi and you're bored, it presents itself as a great option for you to be learning in a fun way. So it's very accessible once the child has a phone or a tablet. And in terms of the widespread use, we're not privy to the specifics because I have not seen something that says how much it has been used.
But you have received feedback or complaints, as it were, from from parents.
Yes.
What has that been like?
Well, alarm. It's alarm from the parents saying, we need to do something about this. We need to load it up, so to speak, because people simply do not know. And on the You Report WhatsApp, it's not just youth chat. So there's a home option, and you can, for example, select life skill options or chat with parent text. So it's youth chats is a option under more general options. So you might be accessing the life skills part and learning how to public speak or parenting skills with conflict management, and you have no idea this is going on in the youth chat section. And so the reason we did this video is to educate and to empower both parents and children to know what is happening in the space.
Sorry, may I interject for a second?
We are almost upon a break. Very quickly, Mr. Gill, we're almost upon a break.
Yeah, when I attempted to interact with chatbot, one of the things it does is it identifies your age first of all. And I pretended that I was a 13 to 15-year-old. And it told me, good, come in now. And then it asked me, the next question it asked me is, could you tell me the sex you were assigned at birth?
What? Mr. Gale, 1 second, sir. We are upon a break. Listeners, we'll be right back in the morning.
Aculab Diagnostics Limited, located at ATL Plaza in Montego Bay, for all your blood testing needs. Open every day, including Sundays, 6132714.
The time by Aculab Diagnostics Limited is
7:15 a.m.
When tape diapers are difficult to change, it's time for Pampers Easy Ups with 360 stretchy waistband. They're easy to put on and take off. keeping their skin dry and protected.
Changes are easy with Easy Ups. Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. People living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. Oh, you bring your family. Somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch, and the topic is the matter of this interesting chat bot. Youth chats concerns about this chat bot. Youth chats concerns about this chat bot. And our guests are a parent, Roland Gale, and he's a parent and a host of Family Time, or the host of Family Time on Love 101 FM. And we also have executive member of the Love March Movement, Sarah Webster. Now, I will hasten to quickly say that what we have here is indications that this chatbot in fact exists. In fact, Ms. Webster, I believe, would confirm it exists. And we would find it interesting to see whether or not these are mere allegations or in fact is a fact. I use the word fact twice. In terms of the National Family Planning Board, the Ministry of Health, UNICEF, UNAIDS, and JFLAG planting destructive ideas about reproductive health, sexuality, and gender into the minds of the youth. If we can get some clarity from the relevant authorities on this, that would be good. The Ministry of Health, National Family Planning Board, we invite you, if you will, to confirm or deny that this is in fact happening. Until then, we continue our interview of these two persons. Now, Mr. Gale, just before the break, you indicated to us, sir, that you pretended to be 13 to 15 in that age category. You went into the youth section or the youth section of the chatbot, and it dared to ask you what sex you were assigned at birth.
I didn't use that phrasing. What I did is I simply told you what happened. So when you go in, it asks you how old you are. And I pretended to be 13 to 15 years old.
Yeah.
And that is option 2. So I put in 2. And then following that, the chatbot responds and says, thanks. And then it posts another message. And the message is, could you tell me the sex you were assigned at birth? And it continues.
Thank you for that clarity. So it repeat that. Thank you for the clarity, but repeat it for the benefit of the listeners.
It says, could you tell me the sex you were assigned at birth?
Really?
Right. And it doesn't end there. Let me finish what the message says. The message continues and it says, please pick the number for the option you want. And then it says male, number 1, female, number 2, other, number 3.
Other?
Other.
Okay.
And then number 4, do not want to say.
Oh. Are you through, Mr. Gale?
With that particular message, yes. As I said at the outset, I really wish the Ministry of Health and the National Family Planning Board would place a greater emphasis and focus more on empowering parents to interact with their children, to help their children to become who we need them to be in this country.
And Mr. Gale, when you went on this chatbot, sir, you saw the logos or you saw the logos or the words confirming. Well, let me not say confirming. You saw the logos of or the words depicting the Ministry of Health and the National Family Planning Board?
I believe so. Hold on, let me look.
I can confirm that.
You can confirm that, Sarah?
I can definitely confirm that, yes, because they send you a little flyer and the logos at the bottom are Ministry of Health and Wellness, UNICEF for every child, UNAIDS, and Youth Expressions, which is from the National Family Planning Board. If you visit their website, you will see a section for Youth Expressions, for which Youth Chats comes under. And anybody listening can confirm this by messaging 876-838 4897.
Repeat
They will,
repeat
the
the
number
number.
is for the number for you report, which is the platform which Youth Chats is housed on, is 876-838-4897. So I invite parents to message, screenshot. It's not in hiding. And we can totally confirm that all of this happened. I have screenshots from the chatbot itself.
To answer your question, Stokely, from a different perspective, there is, well, once you get onto Youth Chats, there is a welcome screen that you get. And on that welcome screen, it says Ministry of Health and Wellness, UNICEF, UNAIDS. It has Youth Expression on it. So yes, these, as a matter of fact, it says, welcome to National Family Planning Board Youth Chats, brought to you by UNICEF's U Report. That's what it says.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
And just to mention that we included JFlag, their logo is nowhere to be found. However, it's when you're in the conversation about your gender and sexuality and you select that I want to talk, I want to get help, then they provide you with a number to reach out directly to JFlag, which is rebranded at Equality JA. So JFlag's youth helpline is branded as Equality Youth. And so that's how we found out that JFlag was involved in this. And we're wondering, why was this partnership approved? That doesn't seem like a legitimate partnership.
And we live in a country where there is still a law that outlaws buggery.
Exactly. So it's very strange that the Ministry of Health and Wellness would partner with an organization that directly opposes not only our laws, but our values and our morals.
And we live in a country where the only marriage which is allowed legally is a marriage between a man and a woman.
Absolutely, sir. And excuse me, Sarah, I just wanted to bring up back the interaction I had with the chatbot. There is a part there where you talk about gender, understanding gender, and so on. And when I indicated that I wanted to learn more about that as a 13 to 15-year-old, it says gender in essence is about the characteristics of males versus females versus non-binary.
Versus what?
Non-binary.
It actually says that.
Yes, it says that.
Sarah Webster, any comments? Oh, sorry, Mr. Gailey went through. Continue.
No, man, no. Only thing I was going to say is, and they're talking to youngsters 13 to 15 years old.
Yes, the youngsters.
Yes, definitely, because this is all a part of their language. This is nothing strange for these organizations such as Jamaica Forum for Lesbians, Allsexuals, and Gays to use words like non-binary, which means you're neither male nor female. And so if you take a glance at the US or Canada or the UK, where apart from grown men saying that they're women and calling real women cis women, right? Apart from all of that craziness, they're drag queens in schools reading storybooks. And I think of our own Read Across Jamaica Day, that in 50 years, if we don't put a stop to this, well, we could have drag queens at every prep and primary school for Read Across Jamaica Day. I want us as Jamaicans to imagine this world and to say that's not the Jamaica we want, that's not the Vision 2030 that we want. But when we partner with organizations like UNICEF, with their own set of values, which contradict our values, then we are going to inevitably have to compromise.
And whilst we are living our lives, going to work, going to church, raising our hands in church and singing songs, all of these things are happening very quietly in the background, almost in plain sight.
Absolutely, Sir Stokeley. And the other thing is, forgive me if I keep going back to what the chatbot tells me, but I'm reading from the chatbot's responses. That same one that says gender in essence is about the characteristics of males versus females versus non-binary. There are some options under that. And the options include the question, what is gender? The question, what are the different gender identities? And then the third question is, how do I decide which gender to identify as?
How do I identify? How do I decide to
which
identify?
gender to identify as.
It's the child's decision.
It's a child's decision, and this is a child 13 to 15 years old. I don't think that as a nation, we need to be sending children to an artificial intelligence platform. We need to send them back to their parents, sir.
Yes, well,
The implications of, sorry, Ms. Webster, you're going to respond. I'm not going to stop you from responding, but in your response, if you could include the implications of this and any next steps. Okay, so you have indicated to Jamaica that this is what is happening. The implications and what next? Because the chatbot, to my knowledge, if I'm understanding this correctly, still exists. It hasn't been taken down, has it?
It hasn't been taken down. And I completely agree that parents are the primary people who should be raising their children. But I do understand the need to use the modern technology to make it accessible to youth. We want to use the resources at our fingertips. And I think as a church and as Christians, we need to not shy away from the resources that we have, but engage them and give them the right information. But I also know that I highly doubt that they would want to, UNICEF and UNAIDS would want to partner with us, because they all come from a value system that is against the value system of Christianity. And so the implications of this, as I said, think about the future of your children and think about what they understand. I've heard that a little boy said, yes, men can get pregnant because those are the people.
Boy said what?
A little boy said, yes, men can get pregnant.
Where you heard us all this?
A little child told me that her friend said this, and his basis for saying this is that he saw Lil Nas X in a picture that looked like he was pregnant. And as if you don't know who that is an American artist.
Yes.
And so these things, facts and information that organizations that should be pushing out facts, and they're talking about false information, it is very suspect that this is the information that they're putting out. So my next steps to the children is to let their parents know, to the parents investigate and reach out to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. It's when we reach out and say we have a problem that they respond. And we didn't even touch.
Are you going to do something like a petition, or I don't know?
Our plan is to write formally the ministry.
Yes.
So you can look out for that. But we didn't even get to touch on their abortion matters or their abstinence, where they say wait till you're ready.
In a couple of seconds we have left, go ahead.
Yeah, so when it talks about how do I get rid of a pregnancy, which is speaking to abortion, it says getting rid of a pregnancy can be risky and is only legal in where the mother's life is at risk. And that's false information. Abortion is completely illegal in Jamaica, and it's the doctor's duty.
I agree with you on that.
The doctor's duty is to protect and save both mother and child. And if the baby dies as a result, as I said in the video, that is not considered an abortion.
Yes,
so it's strange again that they're pushing these ideas, and they're clear that the age of consent is 16, but telling people that fingering is a type of safer sex option, it is literally planting.
Remember, this is morning radio, but it's interesting that you said that.
This app is for 30. Remember, is not. They're speaking to 13-year-olds like this. This is crazy.
Okay, so in the seconds that we have left, a final word from both of you. Mr. Gale first, a couple seconds, and Sarah Webster.
Just want to say thanks for allowing us to come on and to ask us all to really pay attention to what our children are getting into, and to ensure that we have the kind of relationship with them that allows us to communicate positive, healthy ideas.
Sarah Webster, in a couple seconds.
Don't compromise, as the quote said this morning.
Do not compromise. Excellent way on which to end the first watch. Thank you, Mr. Gale, and thank you, Ms. Webster. The Morning Watch will be back after this break.
Everything with a little savings in your hand.
The time by Gem Bank is
7:31 a.m.
GPS. Keep it cool, keep it cool. Summertime hot, but we have all the tools. Keep it cool, keep it cool. No place to see it, you just have to choose. The out of the fridge, just use a igloo. Remember your Kisco ice and the glue. If an AC combo, yeah, hit that. AC if you have it, then a fan after that. Keep it cool, keep it cool. This summer JPS have all the tools. Keep you cool with JPS. Download the JPS app today.
Wine at your tank, you know wine at your tank. Drive smart, no ramp. Wine at your tank. If a 87 you fi use, put 87 in your tank. Fi know which fuel you use, vehicle manual fine it. Enough car in a Jamaica make fi use 87. And a petrol refine so use the octane for the car where you're driving. And let me tell you some more. If a 87 your vehicle use, you are rev up the savings for sure. Know your tank fuel right, your pocket have a smile. Rev up the savings on every mile. Brought to you by Petrojam, serving Jamaica's energy needs.
As a man living with HIV, a regular day from me, not much different from yours. I have to wake up and go to people and work in the traffic. But then when we reach, we can run some joke in the core of them. Sometimes we link up after work, or play ball, or just dip on my ends and kick back before we go home. You see how much we have in common? People living with HIV are a part of our community. Make a par, protect, accept, and respect. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
In life, the more you have to lose.
the more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind,
Knowing that whatever I own,
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
with Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
When tape diapers are difficult to change, it's time for Pampers Easy Ups with 360 stretchy waistband. They're easy to put on and take off, keeping their skin dry and protected.
Changes are easy with Easy Ups.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at our news sources to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have here in the Observer, the Jamaica Observer, we have, well, waiting on the technology here, we have VAS opens door for PPV operators. VAS opens door for PPV operators. We also have CXC reverses decision. We turn to Loop Jamaica News. Jamaica recommends immediate ban on ride-sharing apps. And in the Gleaner we have St. Catherine taxi operator implicated in liquor theft remanded. And we also have Jamaica Stock Exchange suspends trading in Edufocal and Equity Line mortgage investments. And if I could make a comment in relation to the First Watch, based on a message I just received, aspects of the First Watch reminds me of the both watches yesterday, in particular the Second Watch yesterday, where we dealt with that whole matter of Alice Bailey and item number 2 of the 10-point plan, reducing parental authority. And if all of what is being indicated in the First Watch today is true, certainly having children accessing those types of messages, in, it appears to be an undermining of parental authority. As the parents said, refer the children back to their parents. Well, coming up next, we'll read for some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question, which is, what has your experience been like with any ride-sharing transport service? If you haven't done so yet, leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube. You'd love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
Everyone has a big to-do list nowadays. With this busy schedule, it's easy to forget about yourself. Don't neglect your blood work. Just go for a quick and easy testing with Aculab Diagnostics Limited. Swift, simple testing, tailored to your timetable. They're open every day, including Sundays, keeping pace with your calendar. Dial 613-2714 for more details. That's 613-2714. Quick results, late hours. Because you matter.
You are a dedicated small business owner dreaming big of growing your business and reaching new heights. With Access Financial Services, you can grow from where you are to where you want to be. Grow from a corner shop to your very own store, from truck driver to trucking fleet, from hairdresser to your own salon. Secure your small business loan of up to $20 million and watch as your business grows from plan to possibilities. Grow your business today with Access Financial Services. Conditions apply.
Remember, every dream where you have, remember everything where you plan. With JN Bank, anything possible. With a little savings in your hand. Save so you can build the house, buy the land, what goals and dreams like a plan. Save so you can.
Living your best life and making memories is priceless. But saving little by little is what makes it affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your JN Bank savings, you absolutely can. JN Bank will help you find a way.
In life, the more you have to lose.
The more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind,
knowing that whatever I own
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
With Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
Do you operate a business in the manufacturing or agro-processing industry? Sagicor Bank has a loan just for you. Sagicor Bank Manufacturing and Agro-Processing Loan. Borrow up to $50 million with up to 12 years to repay. Financing you can use to retool, expand, improve efficiencies, or gear up for export. Speak with a business banker today. Sagicor Bank Manufacturing and Agro-Processing Loan. Just another way Sagicor Bank is taking care of business. Conditions apply.
Another World of Worship Wednesday is coming your way inside of law every 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. June 5, packed with worship, fun, and information. Stick around for the brain testing exercise at 1:45. Prayer blast will come your way at 2 o'clock. More prayer, more power. 2:15, we feature Elevation Worship Band as our worship artist of the day. At 3 p.m., we bring you hot topics. Join us to find out what's trending in your world of entertainment, sports, lifestyle, you name it. Come your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This World of Worship Wednesday, June 5, with yours truly, Sarah Ann, the chirpy one on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall, and I am still trying to get over the shock of that discussion, the first watch, about that youth chats app. I'm still trying to overcome that shock, trying to thaw out from it. We will be moving on to the second watch, and we're going to change gears a little bit now. We're looking at the ride-sharing transport service. There is no regulation, it is indicated, to govern ride-hailing transport services, and there are a couple of them. It is indicated that we have services such as InDrive, Uber, 876 On The Go, Lyft, and Ride Jamaica. Now, for many, it's been a cause for concern, but it seems that the death of an individual has caused the government to take a strong position on this matter. And the response so far, with immediate effect, it is indicated, a 12-month ban is to be imposed on them because of a national security concern. So said Transport and Telecommunications Minister, the Honorable Daryl Vaz. We have so far as a guest to discuss this very important issue, Major Robert Finzi Smith. He is a security consultant. Good morning, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith? Major Smith? Or I should say Major Finzi Smith. My apologies.
No problem.
Major Finzi Smith?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
Now, first of all, how does it strike you, the ban, and do you think it's a ban that should have come long ago? There should be no ban at all. Some operators in that space are saying the ban is a little bit too harsh or unfair. Your thoughts, Major Finzi Smith?
We have a tendency in this country to lock the barn gate long after the horse has bolted.
Okay. I understand what you mean, Major Finzi Smith. In other words, things gone so bad already. That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
we have a tendency to react rather than be proactive. From this application.
Well, if I could jump in, Major Finzi Smith, some would argue that it's better late than never.
Oh, that's not a matter that could be, successfully disputed. But at the same time, prevention is so much better than cure.
Better than cure, yes.
I mean, everybody's life, new things occur. How do you let them in without vetting them? It's like it became a free for all.
Well, let me. Since you've gone there, vetting them, what tools should be used to actually verify the identities and backgrounds of these drivers? Because arguably anyone could say, I'm going to become a driver in this space.
The app should be required to put in place a sieve system, so to speak.
Repeat that. A what system?
A sieve. So
I'm not sure if we heard it. Just spell out the word for us.
A sieve, like a sieve flour.
Okay, a sieve system. Okay, understood, sir.
It is the same system that if you go for a job, you're required to have background check.
Yes.
And any acts or anything that is occurring in the country should have background checks because you're dealing with the public.
Yes.
And if you are...
And what would the background check include, if I could ask you to just make sure to address that point?
A police record submitted and verified.
Yes.
Also, I'm going to touch a corner or two here. A lot of things, especially with the particulars of this past case here, indicate that we are gravely lacking in, for instance, not having a sex offenders registry.
Interesting. Yes. Yes. So that should be checked as well.
Yes.
And anything else that should be included in the background check? Police record, checking a sex offenders registry.
Driver's license to see how many points are taken off for past offenses.
Yes.
It's not just these apps, You have a number of people driving taxis. Some of them using white plates.
And by the way, should these ride sharing vehicles, if I could use that term, operating under the auspices of one of these relevant companies, should they be using red plates? Because you see, well, I have seen some indication that a lot of them are really white plate vehicles.
Yes, because what's attractive to the operators of them is the ease with which they can enter the system.
Yes.
They apply, person, whoever is administering the app from abroad, I suppose, just verifies them.
Mr. Major Finzi Smith, only because of time, we're going to take a break at this time. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Another World of Worship Wednesday is coming your way inside of law every 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. June 5, packed with worship, fun, and information. Stick around for the brain-testing mental science at 1:45. Prayer Blast will come your way at 2 o'clock. More prayer, more power. 2:15, we feature Elevation Worship Band as our worship artist of the day. At 3 p.m., we bring you Hot Topics. Join us to find out what's trending in your world of entertainment, sports, lifestyle, you name it. Come your way inside Alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This World of Worship Wednesday, June 5, with yours truly, Sarah Ann, the trophy one on the family station, Love 101.
Have to be a man, got to be a man.
On the next episode of The Mailbox, we will take an artistic journey as we focus on the topic Beauty for Ashes. This show will feature a 23-year-old self-taught artist who grew up in state care. Despite the challenges that he has faced in life, he is grateful to have developed this artistic skill while being a ward of the state. You're invited to join us as we speak with Mr. Orlando Powell, self-taught artist, on Wednesday, June 5 at 5:30 p.m. on the family station. Love 101, The Mailbox, Monday.
Hot button issues and insights. The latest developments in health. Your questions answered. 30 minutes of talk with Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton and members of the Health and Wellness team, discussing solutions to your burning questions, hearing your views and concerns. Every Friday at 11 a.m. on Love 101. You've got questions? Then call in for answers. That's On the Pulse with Public Health. Fridays at 11 a.m. right here on the family station. Love 101.
That's right, it's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, every Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. Listen up, children, this is our time, and every day we want you in on the great things we are doing inside the Small People Show. We come to have fun. We come to help you through those rough days. We're educational, inspirational, and the Small People Show with Auntie Vashti is taking over the nation. Every child must know that they are special because God created you special. That's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. It's on the family station, Love 101.
With inspiration now, and every afternoon, you small people.
All right, we're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving of their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise, and you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth connection. Shuboti and them figured he provide everything on guide people we chat. Shuboti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey, Shuboti.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch, and the topic is Ride With Me or Not. And we're looking at the whole matter of ride sharing, the ride sharing transport service. And our guests are Major Robert Finzi Smith, security consultant, and we're now being joined by Louis Barton, President, Jamaica Association of Taxi Owners and Operators, otherwise and popularly known as JATU. Major Finzi Smith, just before the break, you were making a point. We were looking at the whole matter of the background checks, etc. Would you like to finish your thought before we move over to Mr. Barton? If you would like to.
Well, there has to be some form of regularization. For instance, in other jurisdictions, if you step into a cab, they're required to display very clearly their license to operate and who the driver should be.
Yes.
So, if that is in place, it narrows down the possibilities, because I don't want to do anything untoward, having fully displayed for the public to see who I am. You get into a cab these days, you don't know who you're getting into a cab.
The communication with you, Major Finzi Smith, I'm not sure if it's our side or yours end, but it's a little bit garbled. I'm going to see if we can have the matter resolved. But in the interim, Mr. Barton, you're joining us now, and good morning again, Mr. Barton.
Good morning.
Now,
yeah, I'm here.
Do you think implementing a ban on these services displaces or affects the commute of a large number of patrons? I mean, I know that you represent a particular set of operators, but I'm speaking broadly now. Do you think implementing a ban on these services displaces or affects the commute, the ability to get around for a large number of persons who use these services?
Yeah, one of the things that I recognize is that wherever there is need for transportation,
yes,
the public will use it, right? And as far as I am concerned, my organization, we are saying that the big elephant in the room is the lack of service by JUTC. And I'm not blaming them to say that they are not good. I'm saying that the fact is that JUTC is supposed to provide over 400 buses per day in the KTR. Now they are unable to provide probably close to 200. They have about 300 buses shortage in the KMTR. Now, anybody can pick up a car, and that is what happened in the KMTR. Anybody can pick up a car. You don't even have to own the car. Because I've heard of people renting a car for the day to go and pick up passengers to take them wherever they are going, right? It is an opportunity for especially unemployed people who can drive, and they don't even have to have a license, but they can get a car, they can drive, and they can take it from here to there. Now, those people are totally unregulated. Now, passengers have to take them, not have to, but passengers take them because they have to get to where they are going. So if these people are, I don't know how they're going to take them out of the system, because if you're not part of Uber or InDrive or any of the other five, then you can still do it without being part of Uber. You probably have less people being part of Uber, but you still have the unregulated operators on the road, and passengers will take them.
because there's a shortage of buses.
Now, what do you think about the seeming anomaly where you will have white plated vehicles used in one of these ride sharing companies, but yet the other vehicles that maybe operate under your auspices, for example, members of your association, I should rather say, they have to have the red plate. Any comments on that anomaly?
Yeah, well, that is so we are internally we are looking at these people as thieves because they are stealing from us. They are totally unregulated. They don't have to pay the insurance that we have to pay. They don't have to pay for the license at the transport authority and many other regulated things that we have to do. They are not subject to that. So if you are driving a white plate, you are stealing from us. They are stealing from the road plate operator. But I'm saying that the government, I know it's going to be hard, and there are attempts by transport authority because I have been in meetings with them. There are attempts to correct the situation, and it's not just now; it has always been happening. White plate operators have been in the system for over 20 years. Quite proud of that. But it's just now that you have these ride sharing companies. It is as if the white plate that used to operate for the past 20 years are now encouraged to be part of an organization, and they call that organization a Uber, and it's a formalized company. But it's the same problem that we have. The white plate operators have always been taking our passengers and have always been unregulated. And the problem is that the passengers have no choice. They have to get to a place on time, so they will take these buses. It's a problem that the government has to face and try to deal with it. Our organization, we recognize the problem and we're asking the government and their attempts right now to see how we can work out something to deal with these things. But as I said before, the elephant in the room is not having the proper JUTC service that JUTC promised to provide.
You mentioned earlier that you don't even need to have I think you meant driver's license to operate one of the white plate vehicles. Is that what you said?
No. I could, if I don't have a driver's license this morning, I could borrow a friend's car and go out on the road and pick up passengers and take them to wherever they are going. I might be honest enough to take them and not rape them or violate them in any way. But you have people who will do things like that. You have the criminals who will try to rob them. And they are totally unregulated. You can't know them. As a matter of fact, let me throw another spin on it. Because since this thing with the teacher, where the teacher got killed, one of a person who was part of InDrive, he came to us at Batu to ask us why are they coming down on these operators. He didn't know. That driver didn't know that he is not supposed to do it. So there is some information that is lacking in the whole society, that you should be driving a PPV, a red-plated car, and you're not supposed to be driving and carrying passengers without the proper regulation. So some of the drivers are doing, I know at least 2 of them who are driving right now, even probably this morning, without knowing that they are supposed to be regulated.
We are totally out of time, completely out of time. I even wanted to ask Major Finsey Smith something else, but alas, we have no more time. I want to even ask about what you'd like to see in the regulations, but we're unable to reach that this morning. I want to thank Major Finsey Smith and Mr. Barton for being with us on the Morning Watch. Thank you for your time and for your thoughts, gentlemen. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Join us again tomorrow as we look at the topical and controversial issues, and visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love 101 FM programs. This is the Morning Watch on our Love 101 app. Download it today and stay connected to the family station, Love 101 FM, the number 101.1 gospel station in Jamaica. This has been The Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marsh, and heading back in the morning with Chukal.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness works to ensure the provision of quality health services and promotes healthy lifestyles and environmental practices for all Jamaicans. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
8:01.